Hey guys, I'm back with a new video on my Wolfenstein retrospective, and something feels different. Sure. Yeah. We'll worry about it later. Okay, Wolfenstein 3D. Our story continues with Muse Software having to unfortunately file for bankruptcy in 1985 and then close its doors in 1987. Thankfully, id Software, after the success they had with the Commander Keen series, managed to acquire the rights to make a new Wolfenstein game. Originally, it was planned to be a first-person stealth game in a similar vein to its predecessor. It would actually be the first of its kind, well before games like Thief the Dark Project. Now, this is where John Carmack and John Romero took over her development and used games like Hovertank 3D and Catacomb 3D to help develop the game's style. But Romero decided that shooting at Nazis was way more fun, and the rest, they say, is history. Thus, in 1992, the very year I was born in fact, the video game world would never be the same, as the defining first-person shooting experience was created. A game where you get to shoot Nazis and kill Hitler. Get psyched! Okay, let us start this classic game. And yeah, no opening or intro cinematics. Guess I better look for the instructions. Okay, instructions. Steam game. They don't have instructions. That's annoying. To the internet! You know the game is going to be great, and even the instructions have a kick-ass cover. Anyway, we actually get a name for our protagonist for this game. You play as William J. Blazkowicz, or BJ. What? Anyway, you are described as the bad boy of espionage and terminal action seeker. Oh, I miss games like this. Anyway, it seems like the game is going for a soft reboot, as your mission is to once again infiltrate Castle Hallhammer and find the plans for Operation Eisenfaust, and stop the mad scientist Dr. Shabs from creating an army of the dead. Unfortunately, you get captured pretty quickly. I'm guessing when they called old BJ the bad boy of espionage, they actually were referring to how much he is terrible at stealth operations. Anyway, you managed to kill your guard and steal his handgun, and now you have to... Alright, it's pretty straightforward to play this game. You use the arrow keys for movement, you use the space bar to open the doors, and you press the control button to shoot your gun. Still makes more sense than the last time we played a Wolfenstein game. You start off with the handgun you stole from the guard and a knife. Now, as you make it through these blue walls, you will die over and over. Turns out you can only take at most 2 or 3 shots before you die. Well, I guess it's realistic. I mean, you couldn't survive getting shot in the chest with 3 bullets. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to go kill this mad scientist before he can create an army of the dead to take over the world. After finally killing these Nazi guards, you get some extra ammo for your gun, specifically 4 more bullets. So yeah, you might want to be careful when shooting your gun. Another thing to note is that plates of food or dog food will give you back 10 health, while medkits will give you 25 health. So just a reminder, one shot from a standard issue German Luger will take 60% of your health away, and the only way to restore it is to get 2 of these fully stocked medkits and 2 lots of this dog food, and you'll be right as rain. Well, that just makes sense. Anyway, You have to play this game by being very cautious and checking your surroundings. Literally, you have to check the walls for secret rooms to find extra health, ammo, and bigger guns. You get a small machine gun and chain gun, and BJ's face when you get the gun is just fantastic. Also, you find Nazi gold and treasure that helps increase your score, and eventually you can get an extra life after scoring 40,000 points, or if you can find the severed heads of Blazkowicz in a crystal ball. Move on. Anyway, the chain gun is awesome, especially when. Ah, damn it, I died. Alright, let's get back to business. And I have my handgun equipped. Okay, let's get out my chain gun. To do that, you press the 4 button, and I should have my chain gun. Where is my chain gun? Yeah, here's one of the classic game difficulty problems. When you die in this game, you will lose all your starting equipment. And by the way, the instructions make it quite clear, as they will tell you, don't attack with the knife. So your best way to survive is to save your game methodically and move carefully, but this will take forever, as this game has 10 floors for each level. This is just the maps for the first level alone, and by the way, these walls start to blur together, and it becomes more and more difficult to understand where you are at most times, and the enemies can sometimes sneak up on you if you make too much racket. Ugh, this game! Time can be quite merciless. That's how easy it is to lose all your best weapons, and how the enemies can outnumber you quite easily. It's gonna take me a whole year just to finish the first 3 levels. If only I had a way to... Yeah, I think it's time to use some cheat codes. So for the Steam version, you go into your PC's Program Files folder, then hit the Steam and Steam Apps folder, find the common files, and scroll down to Wolfenstein-3D, and then you load up the Wolf 3D plus Cheats program, and boom! Okay, to access the cheat code, you just hold down Left Shift, Alt, and the backspace keys, and there you go. You have access to all manner of cheat codes, such as level select, extra ammo, or my personal favorite, God mode. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but Dono, doesn't this take some of the shine off of defeating this game? Nope. Not at all. But what about the honor of fighting worthy opponents? What honor? They're Nazis. They deserve this. Anyway, back to the guns. The machine gun has a nice bit of firing rate while leaving you with a decent amount of ammo, while the chain gun deals massive damage, but eats through your bullet counter. Now, this is important because all 3 guns share the same ammo pool, which you will need against both the SS guards and the bosses at the end of Floor 9. Floor 10 is a bonus floor that you don't need to complete, but it is fun to see what the programmers came up with. Like finding the ghosts from Pac-Man? So, Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde were Nazis? Anyway, with the help of cheat codes, I was able to breeze through the enemies, find the golden key to open the doors, and thus speed through the rest of level 1 and get to the end boss. For most of the bosses in this game, the strategy is to get reasonably close to them when they are not firing their main weapon, and after that you just unleash as much damage into them with your chain gun. Then run away to the nearest wall or pillar, gather some more ammo, and repeat until you win. So afterwards, we kill the SS guard, who is wielding 2 chain guns. After tanking all manner of bullets head on and ventilating this jerk, we make it to the exit. Awesome! So yeah, you manage to escape and hook up with the underground. However, we have to deal with the maniacal Dr. Shabs and his undead army. The second level is more or less similar to the first one, as we have more blue, red, and grey walls while looking for a gold and silver key to progress to the next floor. With the major difference being that we deal with zombie Nazi soldiers with guns crafted into their chests.
I cannot believe that I just wrote that.
We find our way into the mad scientist's chamber, where he starts throwing scalpels or knives at you.
Unfortunately, I ran out of ammo during this fight, so I guess I'm just gonna have to say, screw the instructions, let's fight fire with fire.
Yeah, he melted into goo after I stabbed him. Oh, we gotta get a replay of that. Oh, actually, we are getting a replay of that. Awesome.
Alright, guys, let's cut the crap. I'm gonna show you what we all came here to see.
Let's kill Hitler.
After going through more mazes and murder, we end up in floor 9 of Hitler's bunker, where we find him wearing the cloak the Master wore in Manos, the Hands of Fate? Actually, that's just some fake clones or phantoms. We have to find the real jerk. Once you get past the last locked door, we find him in power armor. Well, let's finish this. After shooting him enough times, he jumps out of his armor and dual wields chain guns. Thankfully, there is enough spare ammo to finish this fight, and after another curb stomp, he is dead! Yes! Yes! Yes!
And that's the game. Yeah, there are a few more levels, but they're mostly just prequel missions that take place before or the operation here, and there is an expansion pack called Spear of Destiny, but honestly, the game is getting kind of repetitive, and it's more or less what you see here. If you shoot it, if you stab it, they fall down. That's pretty much all we have to discuss. So I think I can just give my final thoughts here, and here it is. This is still an impressive game. It has some impressive ideas for gameplay and escalation. It's very impressive with how it handles the whole idea of trying to be still a stealth game in respects, because you have to be kind of careful and snipe out a few enemies at a time, and it's only when you get the chain gun that you can start mowing down on large numbers of enemies. But it still has its problems, because it's clear that they were still deciding what to keep in and what not to continue utilizing. Like, as I said before, the fact that you lose your weapons after you die is pretty annoying, and the fact that you can get pretty much lost when you investigate the different levels, and the fact that I actually needed a map at all to solve some of the game's more larger levels is not something I was enjoying as much. Also, the fact that I kept getting killed by the enemies is also an annoyance. And yeah, I feel no shame in using the cheat codes, because honestly, it would probably have taken me an entire year just to finish this one game. But with all that said, this is still a classic. Even in 29 years down the line, it still more than proves its worth in gaming history, and it is still a fun shooter, if nothing else, and sometimes that's enough. Next time, we will see how BJ handles the Quake engine when we return to Castle Wolfenstein.